Okay, parents, I want to give you a toolkit because a question came up about the use of AI and does it ruin a student's thinking? Does it ruin their writing? And so I created a two-pager on this with specifics related to the writing process. We have to remember this, that artificial intelligence can get a lot of things wrong. So you want to use it to fine tune areas of your writing. You don't want to let it do the thinking or the sourcing for you as a student. So if you're a high schooler and you're trying to maintain those high grades and that high level of thinking that's going to carry with you into college and beyond, what you want to do is know what the stages of the writing process are, right? Once you know that process, use AI to help you in various parts of your writing. But here's the thing to protect: you want the thinking to be your own. Now, in my tutoring, obviously, I teach the critical thinking skills, the reading skills, the advanced academic vocabulary to create that environment of excellence for students so that they can think and discuss and write at a higher level. But assuming that they are able to do that, what they should do is have a way to capture their ideas more than anything. This includes the research that they're doing, the thinking that they're doing, all the class discussions. So have a set of notes that they use. Okay, these are the 6 stages of the writing process. I also want to talk about using the 4 essay templates, academic writing templates. Yes, one pagers that your student can use and say, oh, that's what I should say in my first paragraph. This is what I should say in my body paragraphs of my paper and my conclusion as well. What is an introduction for a persuasive writing essay, etc., etc., etc. Now, once the student has this process in place and the template, it's much easier to capture their ideas in writing and then use AI for specific parts. Let me show you an example. So, 6 stages of the writing process are pre-writing, drafting, peer editing or peer feedback. Could be from a parent, could be from a teacher. Stage 4, um, revision. Okay, editing is the 5th stage, and finally, the final draft, the final copy of that paper. MLA format, etc., etc., ready to go, ready to upload. Okay, so during, let's say, the pre-writing stage, your student wants to capture all their ideas. Don't use AI for that. Now, you may ask AI for sources, but you need to do the reading. You need to synthesize that information. You can always use AI to search a document to see if it has information in it. Here's the key point: writing is thinking. And if you use AI hand in hand with your own writing, your own thinking, you'll actually do better. And then what you do is you write. And then get all your ideas out there in a note taking format. Now, I have actual note taking formats for things like persuasive writing essays. There's a 4 square, such as your argument, their argument or counter argument, your counter argument to their argument, as well as their counter argument to your main argument. Okay. Because this takes the burden off the student. A lot of students are overwhelmed when they write because they're struggling with the ideas, the thinking, plus they're trying to write. No. Knowing the 6 stages of the writing process saves them from having to draft because they're in pre-drafting stage, pre-writing, which is a valuable stage, right? Now, another quick example. When they're writing and they've used one of my 4 essay templates and they've written their entire draft, maybe they can use AI for a variety of ways to cite evidence from the text to provide that support. Maybe they can use AI to come up with counter arguments. But here's the key point I keep coming back to. They need to double check AI. If AI is giving them a counter argument, can they find articles or papers or videos that flesh that counter argument out? Because AI will get a lot of things wrong. You need to double check it. And as they're double checking it, their thinking is becoming academic, right? Finally, another example, and there's hundreds of ways to use AI. Once you've completed a draft using one of my 4 templates, you're curious how AI would state this and write this at, let's say, 5th grade reading level. By the way, that's a whole other topic. What grade level do you write to? That's super important. Then AI might spit out an essay and give you ideas. But these ideas were based upon your students' research, your students' note taking, your students' engagement with the drafting process, and thinking through the argument using one of my 4 essay templates. Actually, they come from Dr. Kinsella, and so I give credit where credit is due. Okay, that's very important. Then AI is used in the best possible way. You can also use AI to come up with transitions between sentences. If it's a persuasive writing essay, the student can use that to come up with those transitions and be learning at the same time. So now it becomes a double tool. One, to improve that particular essay, and secondly, to teach your student. Now, that's what I do in my tutoring. I give students that feedback, that one-on-one feedback. My groups are very small. So if you want to know more about this, just say strategy success session, and I'll give that to you for free. A consultation, and I'll assess your child. Okay? If you're a member of my page, my Facebook page, I'll give you a discount. And if you can give me a reason, I'll give it to you for free. It's worth $250. Okay? Right. So reach out. If you want to ask about many of my tools, my templates, whatever it is, I'd be happy to send that to you. Do me a favor in return. If you can think of others that are looking for help, you don't know who needs help in writing because they may be getting A's and A's across the board. They may still be struggling with writing. How are you going to know if somebody's struggling with their writing? You don't know until they talk to me. Just say to them, hey, I've got this guy on my page, Kevin Shaw, and he's a teacher tutor, and I don't know, can you help me evaluate? I'm not sure what to think about his stuff, whether it's valuable or not. Maybe you can look at it and tell me if it is. Maybe you can talk to him and he'll give you some information. But I don't know, right? Take yourself out of the picture. Don't put your integrity on the line because you may not know whether or not I have the full integrity that's going to satisfy that person you're referring me to. And if they do, sign up for one of my programs. I'll give you a $100 bonus. All right, take care.